Hello, hello, ladies. It has been so long. Um, I am not going to be on here long. I actually have a call in with Asia in about 45 minutes, so I don't have a lot of time. But hi, Miss Clark. How are you? Hi, honey. It's been a very long 8 months, 6 to 8 months, and yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on. Um, yeah, Miss Clark, I need to hear from you. Um, I need to hear how things are going. My assistant put something in the project management group a while back, and I didn't hear from you. So you reach out to me and let me know what's going on, um, and your status so we can get your certificate issue. Hey, Kat, how are you? Yes, I have received a lot of emails. I thank you all for your emails and your updates, and I've done a little bit of coaching in the background, but I've been just insanely busy um, with life. Um, but I have been watching um, the goings on, and I've actually been watching the goings on uh, socially, politically, and economically in real time because I have been on a consulting. I've been consulting, and I've seen things firsthand that I have told you all about over the past couple of years that I gave y'all a heads up about. It's here. And yes, Kat, we're doing wonderful. Thank you so much. We just finished Chinese New Year. So that was our last kind of big celebration for a little while. So and of course, everybody caught a cold right after that because just weeks and weeks of partying and rituals and all that other stuff. So I'm in here playing nurse mommy, of course. Um, but I did want to come on here and say hello, let you all know that I appreciate your emails and your flowers. Thank you very much. I have received a lot of emails saying, "Oh my gosh, remember when you said XYZ? Have you seen this? Have you seen that?" Um, and yeah, so our new paradigm is here, ladies. And that's what I want to talk about tonight for a little while. Like I said, I don't have that much time um, tonight. Um, but I do plan to, start popping back up a little bit when I can. Now that my engagement is winding down. So let's talk really quickly about what's going on as far as what you need to be thinking about in 2025 as a woman. Um, I have a little case study, a very brief case study tonight, and then we're going to do a deep dive tomorrow. I'm going to do a deep dive tomorrow for the ladies who can make it. You can look in the description and see the link if you want to come. But it is about your brand. How are you going to position your brand, your personal brand in 2025? Um, let's look. I don't even know if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me? Let me see. All right. Can you hear me? I should have did a sound check. I think you can hear me, but if you can't, let me know. Oh, great. All right, wonderful. Okay, I want us to look at something really quickly, and I want you to think about you. I want you to think about how you are experiencing life right now, how you think other people are experiencing you, and what changes you would like to make for 2025. Okay, so let's look at something real quick. We're going to look at a few things. Just want you to think about it. And if you want to go deeper, I'm gonna have a little something for you tomorrow night. Okay. Okay. This was a conversation that happened last week um, on CNN on Abby Phillips' show. I don't know if y'all know who Abby Phillips is. She's one of the new CNN anchors. Young sister, beautiful, beautiful voice. I don't agree with a lot of Abby. We're on different, we have different perspectives on things, but I respect her. She's lovely, and she has a pretty good show, and I like the fact that she has Scott on here. I think that she's trying to facilitate a conversation on both sides, and I think that's good. So, um, let's look at this real quick, okay? It's just a few minutes. I'm going to stop it and start it. And yeah, we'll talk about it. So the title of this video is Both Parties, quote unquote, live in different realities on DEI, according to Ashley Allison. And so the conversation is, the value of DEI, right? And if you all remember, you know, from my videos over the years, my warnings over the years is, hey, you know, DEI is not going to be permanent. It's going to be something that is going to be done away with. Um, it the approach was done incorrectly, and it created a lot of resentment and hostility, and it's going to go away. I told y'all that years ago. I said, if you have any type of job that's even related to this stuff, DEI adjacent, I want you to figure out how to upskill and do something else, because it's going to crumble, and you're going to make some money for a couple years, and then it's going to be gone. And you got to think about what you're going to do in that situation, right? So let's watch this.
The issue in this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
I live in a reality where I know I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
And you know
and
that
I know
too.
Let's go.
I got it. And you know that.
Let me just tell you about me.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to answer this.
Hold on. I'm sorry. As you're watching this, I want you to watch at this woman's name right here. Her name's Ashley Allison. I want you to watch her mannerisms. I want you to listen to her delivery. I want you to listen to her tone. I want you to think about her brand right now. Okay? All right.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. Me, a black woman in this country.
But not in this city.
And I will run. And if you want,
I'm a New Yorker, not in this city. You cannot say that. You can't say that in this city. But I'm not
talking about New York. I'm talking about Ashley
let her finish.
Allison right here. I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table, right? And I have always been the least.
Okay, is that good? Are we off to a good start? Are we off to a good start when we're trying to have a conversation about what's right and what's effective, right? Ashley Allison as a brand right now. Her brand right now just told everybody, I don't care about how you feel, I care about how I feel. And I got more education than all y'all. Okay? All right, let's keep watching.
Least paid person on payroll at every institution.
Let me go back. Let's go back just a little bit. I want to make sure you hear what she said. Okay.
Master's and 2 bachelors, probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table, right? And I have always been.
And the other woman snapping is not helping. I have to say that's not helpful. Okay.
The least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in, and it's not
even in the White House.
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think he worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess wasn't what happened when I was there. DEI.
Scott.
Look.
I'm head Scott.
Look,
no,
you're my friend. I respect you tremendously. I think you're probably the smartest operative in the Democratic Party, and they should listen to you more. That's number one. Number two, you and I share a comparable background. We're both from the Midwest. We both come from middle-class families, lower middle-class families, maybe. I actually think we share a lot of similarities in our journey. But I think you made it, and you are the most respected voice often at every room or every table you're in, not because of anything other than your talent and your work ethic. And that's all anybody ever is asking for, is for people with talent and work ethic to make it. And that's what I see in you. That's
Okay. So Scott's a gentleman, right? Scott's doing a couple different things. First of all, he checked the other guy, was like, hey, let her finish, let her say her piece. Scott's a Republican, okay? So, he doesn't agree with everything as she's saying, but he's a gentleman. He respects her, and he's trying to give her props, right? He's, you know, just trying to give her something. And pay her a compliment. Okay, great. Now, how's Ashley going to respond? Yes, Kat, this was very rough to watch.
That's how I see you.
But let me tell you something about my story and my family's story is that we have faced discrimination. I have faced discrimination. I just said I was the least paid person, even in this moment sometimes, to my counterparts. It is just the reality of the country we live in. And I'm not saying, I do believe I'm qualified. I know I'm qualified. You won't ever tell me I'm not qualified. But the system that I live in doesn't matter about my qualifications.
And here we are. Here we are. We are in a new world. It's true. She's actually right. The system does not care about qualifications, not in the way you think. You need them. You will need them. Think about your brand, ladies. You need your qualifications. But why are qualifications insufficient now? Yeah, the finger pointing was crazy, right? Yes, Scott was very affirming. He was, God, he was. So why would qualifications be inadequate now? Qualifications are inadequate nowadays because likability is huge now. We live in a world, we've always lived in this world, but even more so now. There is a vibe shift. People don't care anymore about how she said, I don't care how y'all feel, I care about how I feel. People don't care. All the feelings, all the um all the things that all the feel good stuff, all that qualitative, um um I'm sorry, all those quote unquote metrics about how people feel engaged and all that other stuff in corporate and socially, I would say that has gone out of the window. People are tired. People are tired of it never being enough. People are tired of perpetual dissatisfaction when they are trying to extend an olive branch, when they're genuinely trying, and it's never enough. You're still mad. It's still something wrong, and somebody else needs to fix it. And this is a vibe that a lot of women are walking around with. And I'm not just saying it's one group of women. I'm saying it's a lot of women. But I do I want us to take into consideration our own brand. And we'll talk about that more behind closed doors tomorrow. I can't say too much publicly. I'm not going to. But the vibe shift is so huge. I have seen it just doing some some consulting work I've done over the past few months. It is really different. It is really different. It's a lot more no nonsense. It's a lot less politically correct. Things have changed. Let's keep watching.
I don't
think
agree
we're
because
there in
when I
2025.
Oh,
I
come
don't think we're there in
on. Come
2025.
on. You can't don't
That's just not true.
That's just not true.
I don't know.
There is a mountain of evidence that suggests that you are wrong. Okay, let's just
Again,
take Ashley.
I'm a New
let's
Yorker,
just-
so I'm jaded. I have the
okay.
Attorney General as a
I'm
black
not-
woman.
okay,
The
we
mayor's
just
a
went- we
black
just
man.
went
The
from-
head of the Senate is a
we
black
just-
person.
Okay, New York is a small
Okay.
representation.
Well, small.
of the
New
United
York is not that
States
small.
of America.
Politics. Let me just talk. Let me talk about
Every judge I
numbers.
appear before
Because
is either a
Ashley
woman
just
or a
gave-
person of
Ashley
color.
just gave an anecdote, but the numbers also show Black women are one of the most educated demographics in this country and one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that make any sense? And
Oh.
don't talk to me about the judges you stand before. Talk to
Why?
me about the theory.
Hold on.
Talk to me about the
But
world
it also-
in which we live in and
Let's
the
look at
system
the
that
United
we live
States.
in.
So if somebody asks you to explain yourself and then you automatically invalidate something that you anticipate they're going to say, are you starting off on the right foot? So she's not doing, I don't know, I can't remember this lady's name, but she's not doing it any favors either. Now Abby is is saying the same thing, but let's look at Abby's delivery again, okay? Let's look at her again.
You're
It's
talking
America.
about politics. Let me talk about
Every judge I
numbers.
appear before
Because
is either a
Ashley
woman
just
or a
gave-
person of
Ashley
color.
just gave an anecdote, but the numbers also show Black women are one of the most educated demographics in this country and one of the least paid. Why would that make any sense?
Why would that make any sense? And
Oh.
don't talk to me about the
Totally different energies between Abby, Ashley, and this other sister, right? It's different, right? Okay. I want you to think about that when it comes to yourself and your brand. Okay? This really is about you. We're looking at them, but it's about you. Okay?
judges you stand before. Talk to
Why?
me about the theory.
Hold on.
Talk to me about the
But
world
it also-
in which we live in and
Let's
the
look at
system
the
that
United
we live
States
in.
Supreme Court. How can you say we're not going to look at that from the top to the bottom? And I'm talking about the legal
Okay, New
system
York is a
that
more
I live in.
progressive. And we
All
just
right,
got a
okay.
black woman.
Hold up. Let
Excuse
me.
We just got a black woman on
Okay,
the
but you had a
board.
black
You brought
man
up-
from
You brought
the
up the
70s
You brought up the Supreme
or the
Court.
60s.
One.
Did you know, Arthur, that there are
But
much-
hold on. What percentage of it does it represent the United States of America?
Why
So
is
why
it
does
so,
it matter?
but Why
So
is
we
it
gotta
so
go by
hard?
Guys,
But
one at a
why
time.
is it-
But
why
guys,
is it so hard?
we gotta-
one at a-
Okay, so now we're arguing, now we're yelling. Okay? All right.
No, we gotta
acknowledge
turn
what
these.
she just
We
said.
can
Why
only
is it
have
so
So why
hard?
is it just
30% of
one?
justices.
I don't know,
Why
why
is
is
it
there
so-
only one Italian
No,
American?
but why is
Why?
it so hard for you to acknowledge what she just said about
didn't-
black
I
women
didn't-
being the most educated
I
and
did
the most
acknowledge it. I said
underpaid?
that's
And
not
you-
my experience.
Okay,
If that
but
was
we're-
the case,
because
we
you're
would have
not a
more
black
black women on this
woman.
No,
board.
I'm a
But
New
New-
Yorker,
but
and that's
New
not
York
the
is
way
not
it is
representative of the rest
You're
of America.
correct.
That's
You are
also what
correct.
it's also the most
diverse city in the country.
well. That's exactly.
Like,
So of
why
course
wouldn't it
there's
be?
more
I think it's a
representation
little
in
more
women are
representative.
And Scott, I think if you really see you said something very beautiful. This is your friend. You guys share a lot of the same values. You guys think alike. You guys are literally friends off air. You text, you have good conversations. There is the yes and in that. There is something that says to me that you know what she's saying is true. You think she's smart. You know that she's smart. She's more educated than mostly everyone at this table. And so what she's saying isn't a lie. What she's saying is a real life experience. And so why is it so hard to understand why something like diversity, equity, inclusion needs to be a part of what we do in a system that never even acknowledged a group of people, never saw us as a human commodity, just literally never noticed who we were. And now here we are years later asking for some simple rights, some simple civility. She's asking to be paid like you get paid. She's asking to be acknowledged like you get acknowledged.
Okay, so Ashley Allison is not going to get paid like Scott Jennings, not because she's black woman. It's because she does not have the same appeal that Scott does because her delivery can be very off-putting. Abby, the host, the sister that's the host, she can. But once again, this is really about brand. And what we're going to talk about tomorrow night in the deep dive for you, if you want to come, is brand. I'm not going to say too much about it tonight. I'm just doing an overview. But we're going to talk about your brand and why it's very easy to get caught up in a lot of the emotional appeals that are going on right now because there is a lot of upheaval. It is scary. I think it is. I think a lot of people are very nervous, and I understand that. But there is something that you can do for yourself as a woman if you're ready to look at this stuff with a cold eye and not try to play these played out games. This is played out. Do you see his face? This is played out. He doesn't care, and people don't care about this anymore. People do not care about about the things that are being said about these played out appeals. All right, let's finish up.
And she knows that that is not the case because she is a Black woman.
She had a high-ranking position in the White House of the United States of America.
Dear friend.
Yes. Yes, she did.
She was one of the most celebrated political operatives in the country.
There's
Do you know how hard I had to work to get that?
Do you know how hard? Do you know how hard the son of a garbage man had to work at it? So I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying that.
Talent, and work ethic are everything, and that's why I think you're here.
It's not true. It's just not true. It's just not true.
The other thing is the access to opportunity is. I know you don't want to think that that is true, but access to opportunity is what DEI is supposed to address. And not just when it comes to race, although race is important, but when it comes to women, when it comes to people with disabilities, when it comes to people from different socioeconomic brackets, from rural parts of the country.
I think that's the biggest issue. There's different socioeconomic brackets.
So now
we're
trying to say, now we're trying to say that everything is equal just because I say it, even though all the evidence.
Who said everything is equal?
Well, that's literally we're already living in a meritocratic society, is what Scott and his colleagues want to say, when that's actually factually not true.
Do you not think everything is equal?
But I think it's generally.
I think
true.
But I think it'll seek its own level. I don't think the government should be telling us to seek its own.
But you literally earlier just said
DEI is not about the government. Y'all are talking to private companies and telling them you can't
do
operate
it.
It's about both.
the way you want to operate.
But Arthur, you literally just said, I don't think it will seek itself out, because you literally just said human nature. That's how we operate.
That's right.
Sometimes, which is why the civil rights movement was so important.
I think it's more socioeconomic than it is.
This is why, like, when they talk about like canceling the Department of Education, why they talk about the federal government. The reason why the federal government was so important, particularly for Black people to seek justice in this country, is because it was the one bastion of hope that people had when states took control and they had discriminatory practice laws.
Okay, but
the Supreme Court.
How long ago? Tell me how long ago was that? How long ago?
Okay, I think you guys get the point. Access to opportunity is dependent on something totally different. We are in a totally different world now, and you need to figure out a way to access your own opportunities. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. But I do want you to go back and watch this and think about your own delivery. Think about in the past 6 months with everything that has gone on politically and the social landscape. Think about where your brand is right now and how you might need to adjust your brand so you can have access to new opportunities. Because 2025, the next couple of years, is going to be very turbulent. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm not even going to pretend that it's not. It's going to be very turbulent for a lot of people who wouldn't learn when it was easier to learn, who wouldn't make a different set of decisions when it was easier to do it. What's your strategy? Where are you going to land in all this? Okay, one more thing I'm going to show you. Okay. Let me see. Okay. This just came out November 26th. Study DEI training could make racial tensions worse. A new study found reading extracts by Robin DiAngelo, who she wrote that book, White Fragility, I think, and Ibram X. Kendi led people to perceive racism where none existed. This is a pretty interesting. Um, this is a pretty interesting read, but it speaks to something that is going on now in our culture, in our society. Once again, I'm going to say some more stuff about it behind closed doors. I cannot say it right now on a public platform, but there are some things that are happening right now in corporate and professional spaces that you really need to be paying attention to. Since 2020, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, has gained momentum across workspaces, academic halls, and social media platforms. Some of the movement's leaders include Ibram X. Kendi, author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, and Robin DiAngelo, the author of White Fragility, have focused on the idea that racism is everywhere and fundamentally embedded into white culture in particular. A new study questions whether, incorporated into DEI trainings, this type of anti racist mindset makes things better or worse. Researchers at Rutgers Social Perception Lab, along with the Network Contagion Research Institute, a nonprofit that studies the spread of hostile ideological content, set up a study to see what, if any, impact writings by Kendi and D'Angelo had on people's perception of racism. What the study looked what the study looked at. Researchers looked to answer the following question. Do ideas and rhetoric foundational to many DEI trainings foster pluralistic inclusiveness, or do they do they exacerbate intergroup and interpersonal conflicts? Do they increase empathy and understanding or increase hostility towards members of groups labeled as oppressors? They randomly assigned 423 undergraduate student volunteers from Rutgers to a control group or a test group. The control group read a passage about corn, while the test group read a passage where researchers combined quotes from Kendi and D'Angelo's published works. Here are samples of both, and you can read the full passages on page 21 of the study. So we're not going to go into all that. Actually, no, I will. I will read. No, I don't want to read it because I don't even want my voice to be lent on my page to it. If you read it, it's very, and I'll put, let me go, I'm going to put the link to this so you all can read it for yourself. I'm going to put the link to this in the chat right now, so you can read it. Okay. But look at the last line. To love capitalism is to love racism. This is off the chain, y'all. Y'all. This has had an impact. This has had such a huge impact, and the most interesting part is I don't think that there's an awareness of what is about to happen. I don't. Um, so anyway, I want you to be thinking about what is, not what you wish would be, what you wish was different. It's not different. It's going to be very challenging for the next couple of years. There's going to be pushback. There's going to be people, honestly, that are totally apathetic to anything that you're going through. And so as an individual woman, you got to make a different set of plans. Honestly, a lot of things that we've been taught that we can rely on and fall back on, they're either going away or they're already gone. Oh, Kat, they are very prevalent in a lot of the corporate DEI trainings, um, which have been significantly scaled back, might I add. Google pulled their DEI, Microsoft pulled their DEI. Actually, let me show you real quick. Huge companies that were just a few years ago swearing up and down, oh, we're allies and all that. Honey, it's gone. Look at this. Microsoft shuts down diversity, equity, and inclusion team. They shut down the whole team. Microsoft, a global name in technology, has closed down its diversity, equity, and inclusion team. According to Business Insider, which viewed correspondence sent out to thousands of employees, Microsoft no longer views DEI as business critical. A team leader at the global computing company said the move was due to quote unquote changing business needs. But internal colleagues and onlookers have disagreed with the company wide decision. Honey, let me tell you, this is why I was telling y'all get a different set of skills that is on the revenue generating side of the house because it was never business critical no matter what they were saying. And a lot of people bought the hype. A lot of people bought into all that emotionality, all those speeches, all that stuff when the different leadership was coming on and talking about how they were going to be an ally and things was going to be different. Oh, honey, I told y'all then. Some of y'all that were in my business analyst and career alchemy programs, I said, don't you do it. Don't you fall for it. Don't don't get involved with this. This is this is temporary and you're going to blacklist yourself essentially if you get involved with this stuff. Get away from it. Don't worry about it. Get somewhere where you're helping the company make some money because this ain't it. Well, I have about 40 plus articles about different companies who have done this, the big dogs. So a lot of these initiatives that I think people thought were a lot more concrete than they actually were. You see how fast they're crumbling. It's unbelievable. We'll talk more about it tomorrow night. Um, but this is your time, ladies. It's a new year. The new year has officially begun. So for me, I always count the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, as my new year. The new year is here, just a couple of, 14 days to go. And now it's time for you to get a new strategy. We'll talk about some strategic moves you can make. We're going to do an assessment of, where you are in your career, what's going on where you are, and how you can make some moves to put yourself in a good position. But I will encourage you to focus on yourself um, for now. I would not get involved with any causes. That's my advice for right now. I would not get involved with any of these causes, even though it can seem very seductive. Don't be emotionally hijacked into getting involved with these things, unless you're in a really secure position. That's my encouragement to you, whether you come tomorrow or not. But anyway, let me know what you are seeing. Um, yep, people at work reading that, and that and more. People were compelled to participate in those types of things, Kat. People are mad. People have this has been brewing. This has been brewing. Um, but I would love to hear what you're seeing. Just, drop a comment if you have time. I would love to hear what you're seeing wherever you are, any changes that you have seen. Like I said, I'm going to share some more tomorrow. Um, don't give in to the temptation of letting anybody hijack you emotionally and get you involved in any of this stuff. This will impact you if you get caught up. So be careful. Um, I'll talk to some of you ladies tomorrow night. Um, most people never learn, but maybe you will be different, and that's my prayer for you all. I hope y'all are well, and I will talk to some of you ladies tomorrow night if you can. If you can't make it tomorrow, it's no problem. I will send out the recording. But have a happy new year. Take care of yourselves. And come up with your own strategy. Think about your own strategy. Think about your own brand, how you can get yourself into a good place. Okay. You can do it. It's still doable, um, but it will take work. And you will have to have a lot of internal self discipline to make this happen. Okay. And I would love to help you if I can. All right, beauties. I will talk to you later. Y'all have a fabulous evening. Okay. Bye, ladies.